What if I told you that there was an invisible network around us, constantly moving, constantly communicating, marching like ants out one mind and into the other, but we never once recognize it? This is the network of thought and its never-ending transference. Thought transference only rose into popularity in the 19th century, but humans have been dreaming of communicating non-verbally to each other long before that. Paracelsus, a Swiss physician, alchemist, and astronomer of the German Renaissance, observed that by the magic power of the will, a man on this side of the ocean can make a person on the other side hear what is said on this side. The ethereal body of man may know what another man thinks at a distance of 100 miles or more. Some experts, like Professor Barrett of the Royal College of Science of Ireland, would even say that this thought is as old as mankind, citing how children often make a game of guessing what the other is thinking. As thought transference rose in the 19th century, these experts did their best to separate themselves from the realm of spirituality in favor of the realm of real science. Webster Edgerly, who published The Transference of Thought in 1896 under the pseudonym Edmund Shaftesbury, argued in his book that thought is a force, not a filmy thing. It is as real as light or sound and may become as perceptible. It is impelled as a force, having every conceivable degree of strength, generally weak, often intense, and sometimes volcanic. Edgerly argues that this force is not one that anyone needs any special talent to receive or transfer. Every human experiences thought transference unconsciously, many times throughout the day. There are occasions in a person's life when they are thinking about something and someone suddenly starts talking about that thought. Edgerly cites a conversation between two men on a hot day. The first man thinks about the heat, then about his desire to be in a colder place, which brought forth the memory of a vacation on a specific mountain range. The second man then makes a comment about that same mountain range that he was thinking about. It was revealed that the second man had a very similar thought process as the first. Edgerly argued here that this was the force of the first man's thoughts being transferred into the second man. Despite this being a commonplace thing, the study of thought transference was really built upon the ability to become aware of the thoughts being transferred to and from one's mind, and to control this transference for oneself. But how could something like this be trained, let alone shown through scientific experimentation? Some of these experiments are shown through R. Osgood Mason's 1897 work, Telepathy and the Subliminal Self. They are performed with three parties. The first would draw a symbol or a diagram, then the second, referred to as the operator, would concentrate on the diagram and attempt to transfer it to the blindfolded percipient. Once this process was over, the diagram would be removed along with the blindfold, and the percipient would do his best to reproduce the diagram that was transferred into his mind. The similarities between the original diagram and the reproduction were striking, to say the least. There are many other tests which were performed, which the percipients inexplicably gave answers to questions they should not have known the answers to, blindfolded and in complete silence. Mason concluded that the knowledge which these sensitives exhibited, which were given them as tests, did not come to them by any ordinary sense of perception, obtained either legitimately or by trick, but came to them directly from the minds of other persons acting as agents and striving to impress them, and that this knowledge, or these impressions, were received by some means other than through the ordinary channels of communication. Thought transference can be applied in different ways too. Edgerly wrote a whole chapter in his Transference of Thought about the possible applications of thought transference to speak to the dead. For reasons he claimed were true based on the Bible, Edgerly held that the soul and its mind remained in the body for 3 days after a person's death. Within this span, he thought one could read the minds of the dead. Edgerly claimed to have experimented with this on a recently deceased friend of his. He wrote down the words he read from his mind. "I know I am dead. I suffered no pain. It is easy to die. I am happy. I know you. I am a child again." There are also claims, much later, that thought can be transferred to Polaroid cameras. In 1967, a Chicago bellhop named Ted Serios was known for his thoughtographs. He was soon put under study by a skeptical psychologist named Jules Eisenbud. Eisenbud helped to perform experiments on Serios and recorded his findings in his book The World of Ted Serios, Thoughtographic Studies of an Extraordinary Mind. In these experiments, Serios would hold a cylinder that he called a gizmo to the lens and to his forehead. While most of these pictures developed into vague splotches, some of them would develop into recognizable, real-life places. And as extraordinary as it sounds, and despite Jules Eisenbud's assurances that this was no trick, Ted Serios' thoughtography was debunked years later by 2 magicians who saw him sneak something into his gizmo. The concept of thought transference is striking, if not a little frightening. But this is one of mankind's oldest ideas. And should telepathy be possible, it could be an interesting road for humanity to travel.